Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, Jay Briggs here from Pickdawgz.com, bringing y'all my NBA Jam session for November 30th, 2022. If you're looking for more of this great content, man, y'all know what to do. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Drop who y'all like down in the comments as well. Y'all know I love going through, seeing who y'all like in the comments. But if you're looking for my best bets, the bets that I'm placing today, as well as best bets from the top handicappers in the world, check us out over at Pickdawgz.com. Click that premium picks tab, and that's where you'll find best bets from the top handicappers on the planet. Link to my $15 NBA Jam Session plays in the description. That is my best bet in the NBA every night. Off of a winner last night, man. We were on a little cold streak, but we got back to winning ways on that Jam Session play last night. We had the Dallas Mavericks at home. We faded the Warriors, who continue to be just god-awful on the road this season. Hopefully they get that addressed moving forward down the season. But we were on the Mavs. The Mavs are still on the do not bet list, even though they got us the dub last night. We still can't trust them. We got to watch them moving forward. But winner last night on that Jam Session play. Scoop that up, $15. My best bet in the NBA every night. Follow me on Twitter at ParlayGuyJ. That's where I can update y'all on any late injury news later on in the day. That's where I also release the parlay of the day. We didn't drop a parlay yesterday because there was only a 3-game NBA card, not a whole lot of room for a parlay. 13 games today, though. We got crazy room for one today, so I will be dropping one on Twitter. Follow me there, and that's where I can update y'all on any late information, or if my mind changes due to any late information that we find out later on in the day. As y'all know, this video comes out crazy early in the morning. So follow me on Twitter for all updates. 13 games tonight, huge NBA card. I love tonight's action. We got a few spots to attack, some traps. Per usual, man, we want to attack it like we always do. Without further ado, man, let's get into tonight's NBA action. In our first matchup of the night, we got the Philadelphia 76ers on the road facing the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland home favorites laying 4, total 219. Good matchup tonight, really good matchup. Looks like Embiid is a go for this one. Still no Maxey, still no Harden for the 76ers. 76ers have been playing some better basketball here recently, even without their top guys. They've won 4 of their last 5. That's including beating Atlanta in their last one. I wasn't totally impressed with their schedule before beating Atlanta. They had beat Orlando twice, lost to Charlotte, and beat Brooklyn. But that Atlanta win is a really good win, and they've won 4 or 5. You can only beat who's in front of you, and they've done that. But on the other side, man, this Cleveland team, they've won 3 of their last 5. They dropped their last one to Toronto. But they're at home in this one. And the Cleveland Cavaliers at home have been really dominant here recently. Their last 4 home games, they've won them all straight up and covered their spread in all 4 of those against the Blazers, against the Hawks, against the Heat, and against the Hornets. All of those games were at home, and they dominated in dominating fashion. I've been fading this 76ers team here recently, and we've been getting beat, but I'm going to go back to the well and fade them again. Give me the Cavs. I think they play their better basketball at home. The one pause that I do have in this game is no Jared Allen, which was going to be huge because he's the main piece to guard Joel Embiid. But I still think the Cavs have enough offensive firepower to go ahead and take care of the 76ers team here at home. So give me the Cavs here in this matchup, and I'll lay the 4. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Atlanta Hawks on the road facing the Orlando Magic. Hawks road favorites laying 5.5, total 226. Tough one for me, man. Y'all know I've been on both of these teams quite a lot this season. But if I'm going to be 1,000% honest, both of these teams haven't just been the best. Atlanta is only 8-12-1 against the spread. It's a losing record against the spread. Orlando Magic 9-11-1 against the spread. 2 games under for them as well. Both teams coming in this one are struggling. Atlanta has only won 1 of their last 5. They've lost 3 straight. Orlando has lost their last 5. They've only covered in 1 of those. They got beat handedly in all the other 4, including a 20-point loss to Indiana and a 30-point loss to Philadelphia. Tough matchup for me here. I'm going to lean towards the Atlanta Hawks. I think they're just a better team. Although y'all know I'm not overly in love with taking the Hawks on the road. But here in this one, I just think they got more weapons in Young, Murray, and it's just a lean towards them here. Better teams typically bounce back. And like I said, they've lost 3 in a row, so this should be a perfect bounce back spot for the Hawks here tonight. But on the road, it's not my favorite spot to take them, but so it's just going to be a lean towards the Hawks here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Miami Heat on the road facing the Boston Celtics. Celtics home favorites laying 9.5, total 224. Short, sweet, and simple, man. It's just a lean towards Boston in this one. I probably won't be betting this one or have it as a premium or anything like that because this Boston team is just too scorching hot for me right now. But at the same time, me personally, I don't like laying double digits. I just really don't. The back door in those games are typically always wide open, but how hot Boston is right now, there's no way I could fade them. There's no way I could fade them. I've been fading them here recently, and they make me pay for it every time. I've learned my lesson. Give me the Celtics. I'll lay the points here in this one. They took Charlotte behind the shed by 35 points in their last one, beat Washington by 9, beat Sacramento by 18, beat Dallas by 13. They got one loss in there to Chicago in their last 5. Before that, I think they had ripped off like 7 straight. They've won like 15 of their last 16. It's something crazy. And they've been blowing teams out too, man. So give me the Celtics just to lean in this one. I know Miami has looked better in their last 3. They've won 3 straight. They've beaten Atlanta on the road, which is a good win. They beat Washington twice at home. So they've been playing some better basketball here recently, but even though they have, I can't fade the Celtics here. So lean towards Boston laying the points here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Washington Wizards on the road facing the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn home favorites laying 6.5, total 225. I'm going to take my points here with the Wizards. Y'all know typically I don't like laying points with this Nets team. Even though they have been playing better under Jacque Vaughn since firing Steve Nash. They're finally back to 500, 11-11 on the season. But, I mean, if you're just looking at the records, Washington has a better record, 11-10 on the season. I know they've been struggling here recently, only won 2 of their last 5. But they did win their last one, and they won it pretty convincingly against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 142-127. I think that's a solid win. The game before that, they lost to Boston, 130-121. No shame in that. Everybody's losing to Boston, and pretty convincingly. But they did lose to Miami in back-to-back games on the road. Miami was missing some guys in them, so that's a little pause for concern. But, you know, I'm not overly in love with this Brooklyn team. I'm just going to be 1,000% honest. They did win their last one against Orlando, 109-102, and they beat up on Portland the day before that, 111-97. Portland was missing their top guys in that one. I'm going to take the Wizards here plus the points. I just think it's a good spot. I think Brooklyn does get the win, but there's definitely enough room in there for the Wizards to keep this one pretty competitive. And I could see maybe this game comes down to the wire. We get some late game fouling, and Brooklyn probably wins this one by 3 or 4. So give me the Wizards here, and I'll take them plus the points here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Milwaukee Bucks on the road facing the New York Knicks. Milwaukee road favorites laying 5.5, total 227. I'm going to lean towards Milwaukee here in this one. They've looked like one of the better teams in the NBA thus far this season, 14-5. We know the Knicks are really an inconsistent team. The Knicks are also on a back-to-back. They played yesterday in a blowout win, though. They did blow out the Pistons, 140-110. We took them yesterday on the jam session, so that was nice to see. But I don't love this spot for them, even though they are at home on a back-to-back facing the Milwaukee Bucks. The best player on the planet is coming into your building off some rest. I do not love this spot at all for the Knicks. It's a lean towards the Bucks for me in this one. We've seen Milwaukee beat up on 2 pretty good teams in their last 2 matchups. They beat the Dallas Mavericks 124-115, beat them by 9. That's a Mavs team that went to the Western Conference Finals last season. And they beat Cleveland 117-102, a really solid Cleveland team, a Cleveland team that I think could give some of these teams in the East a run for their money this year in the playoffs. So 2 really solid wins for that Milwaukee team. The Knicks have only won 2 of their last 5. They have been covering here recently. They've covered in their last 4 matchups. I think they're due to return to the median. Give me the Bucks here. I'll lay the 6 with them here on the road. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Memphis Grizzlies on the road facing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Memphis road favorites laying 3.5, total 231. Interesting matchup here. We know Karl Anthony Towns is going to be out for a while. He hurt himself in his last one. Still no Bane for the Grizzlies either. Looks like Dylan Brooks is day-to-day for the Grizzlies as well. I'll lean towards the Grizzlies in this one, but my favorite play in this one is the over. Both of these 2 teams have been giving up some points and scoring some points, running and gunning in their last few matchups. Memphis in their last one, they beat New York 127-123. That gets us over this total. The game before that, they beat New Orleans 132-111. That gets us over this total. So that's 2 back-to-back games, really high scoring for this Grizzlies team. We go look at the Timberwolves, their last 2 games as well. We can say the same thing. 142, 127 with Washington running and gunning. A lot of points scored in that one. And the game before that, and the game they lost as well, 137, 114. The Golden State got over in that one. Both of these two teams in their last couple games have been trending towards the over. I think that doesn't stop here tonight. I think both of these two teams with guards that are trying to attack the ball, get out in space and run, like Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards, I think if we're going to trend to an over here in this one. So I do lean towards Memphis in this one. They beat the Grizzlies 114-103 just on 11-11 not too long ago. They were fully healthy in that one now without Karl Anthony Towns. Even though this one is on the road, the first one was at home, I still think the Grizzlies should win this one. But I like the over much better here in this one. So give me the over, 231, and a lean towards the Grizzlies as well. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Toronto Raptors on the road facing the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans home favorites laying a bucket, total 224. I'm a lean towards the Pelicans in this one. I know the Raptors have been playing some pretty good basketball here recently. They won 3 of their last 5. Beat Cleveland in their last one, 188, and beat Dallas. Both of these were at home, 105-100. And I know they weathered the storm there for a while without their best player in Pascal Siakam. 11-9 on the season, also 12-8 ATS for this Raptors team. They've been pretty good all season. Here tonight, I don't necessarily love this spot for them. Even with Brandon Ingram not going for the Pelicans, CJ McCollum listed as questionable for this one coming off COVID illness. He's listed as day-to-day with conditioning. I'm still going to lean towards the Pelicans here. They play their better basketball at home, 12-8 on the season, 10-10 ATS, but I just think this is a good spot for them here today. They've won 3 of their last 5 as well. I know they're glad to be back home. They beat OKC 105-101 in their last one at home. They've had a few rest days. I think they can take care of this Raptors team here on their home floor. Like I said, no Brandon Ingram for this one, but Zion Williamson, like I said, y'all know how I feel about him. When healthy, if he can stay healthy and continue to develop, I would say in about a year or two, he's going to be a top 5 player in this league. I really believe that. And I think these are the perfect games right here where he's getting a lot of the touches and he gets his team to a win here. So give me the Pelicans. I'll lay the 1 or the bucket here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the San Antonio Spurs on the road facing the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies, a.k.a. the Cover Buddies. They're laying 5.5, total 237.5. The Cover Buddies, a.k.a. the Thunder Buddies, are that typically when they're getting points, not laying points. I don't love laying points with the Thunder. I'm going to have to take the Spurs plus the points here in this one. It's not my favorite game at all, and I know the Spurs have been god-awful. They've lost, 8 in a row? Tough, man. They haven't been as bad against the spread, though. 9-12 against the spread. The Thunder Buddies are 12-9 against the spread this season. But like I said, most of the Thunder Buddies work. Covering the spread comes as dogs. We love taking the Thunder in the dog role, but in the favorite role is a spot where I'm typically not at with this Thunder team. They're still a bad team, man. 8-13 on the season. San Antonio 6-15. Battle of 2 bad teams. I'll definitely take my points in my back pocket. Like I said, I know the Spurs have been god-awful here recently. They started off the season hot, but here recently they've just been terrible. But we don't need them to win this one. We just need them to get a cover. I think they can keep this one pretty competitive with the Cover Buddies. Cover Buddies laying points is not a spot I usually want to be. So give me the Spurs here in the lean plus the points here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Houston Rockets on the road facing the Denver Nuggets. Denver laying 11.5, total 231. We just seen this game the other night on the 28th. In a game where the Nuggets beat them boys by 16, laying this exact same number, 11.5. The Chicken Nuggets have been red hot, man. They've won 4 of their last 5, 13-7 on the season. They're starting to look like the Nuggets we thought they were going to be. But I told y'all at the beginning of the season, it was just going to take a minute for this Nuggets team to get back acclimated. You got to realize Murray was out for, almost 2 years. Then you had Jokic and a few of the guys like Murray as well catch COVID, so they missed a few games in there. Looks like Michael Porter Jr. is still kind of banged up right now. It's going to take a minute for this Nuggets team to get back acclimated. But when they do, they're going to be a force to reckon with in the West. Here tonight in this one, though, after just beating this Rockets team the other night by 16 and covering the spread, I don't know, man. We've seen a few of these home and homes go the other way, man. The first game, one team does something, and then the next game it goes the complete opposite way. And I could probably see that going that something like that here tonight. By far, not my favorite game of the night. I didn't have a premium or any money on it the other night on the 28th. The same thing's probably going to follow here tonight. No money or premium on this game for me personally tonight. But I will lean towards the Rockets here in this one. Chicken nuggets have been hot though, so tread lightly. But in my opinion, I just think this is the perfect spot to take the Rockets. I can see a 7-8 point win for the Nuggets here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Chicago Bulls on the road facing the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix home favorites laying 5.5, total 225. Hey, Phoenix has been red hot, man. They've won their last 5 games. Their last one was on the road against Sacramento. They won that one 122-117. Before that, they had 4 straight home games. They won all 4 against Utah. They didn't cover, though, against Detroit, the Lakers, and New York. They won all of those games. On the other side, and y'all know I love taking Phoenix at home, but on the other side, we got the Chicago Bulls, who went on the road and beat a Utah Jazz team. That's a really good win on the road, man, 114-107. The game before that, though, they lost on the road in overtime to Oklahoma City Thunder buddies. But the game before that, man, they beat Milwaukee on the road, and the game before that, they beat Boston at home 121-107. That's Boston's only loss in like 16 games or something like that. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. This is a tough one for me. Y'all know I love taking my Suns at home, man. They're really hot right now. I'm talking about red hot right now, so I don't really want to fade them. But the spot for me tonight is to take the Bulls plus the 5.5. The Bulls have been playing some good basketball on the road, man. I had to go back and look. At first glance, I was on the Suns for 100%, but the Bulls have been playing some pretty good games on the road. I see this just being a flat spot for this Suns team who's just been red hot lately. And I think the Suns do get the win, but I think this one's going to be a little competitive, more competitive than people are thinking. I think this could be like that Utah game where it kind of comes down to the wire. Phoenix gets the win, but the Bulls get the cover. Give me the Bulls here plus the points in this one. Not my favorite game. I don't want to fade my Suns who are red hot right now, but I do think the play in this one is the Bulls plus the points. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Los Angeles Clippers on the road facing the Utah Jazz. Jazz home favorites laying 6.5, total 225. Man, what's going on with my Jazz, man? They done lost 5 straight. They were my favorite cover team to begin the season. For real, I was just putting whatever on the Jazz to begin the season, man, especially at home. They were just really dominant at home. Here recently, though, they've lost their last 2 at home. They only got 3 home losses on the season this year, but they've lost their last 2. And they weren't really that impressive either. They lost to the Pistons and the Bulls, 2 teams I think that they should have beat at home. They've lost their last 5 straight. We've been on them a few times in their last 5. The Clippers have been playing some pretty good basketball in their last 5. They've won 3 of their last 5, including a win over these same Jazz. That one was at home for them in that one. Still no Kawhi for this one, no Paul George. John Wall might play in this one for the Clippers. I'm gonna go down with my ship, man. Give me the Jazz. I'm gonna lay the points with them at home. I know they haven't been playing their better basketball recently. I know they've lost 5 straight. I know they lost back-to-back at home. But perfect bounce back spot if you ask me. I think this is a get-right spot against a banged-up Clippers team, playing a lot of their second-unit guys. Although this Clippers team is one of the better teams equipped to do that because they do it so often. But I think this could be a slaughter here tonight for the Jazz. A get-right spot for them. A lot of people were waiting on them to return to the median, which they have done now, 12-11 on the season. But I'm not selling my stock quite yet, man, on the Jazz team. I think they just went through a rough patch, which a lot of teams in the NBA go through. This could be the get-right spot here tonight against the team that started the 5-game losing streak. You get to take a deep breath of fresh air and thrash this team here at home. They beat you on the road to start your 5-game losing streak. Now you got them back at home to end it. I think they do just that. I think they take these boys behind the shed. I love this game for the Jazz here tonight. It's going to be a premium, so free premium tonight on the Jam Session. Y'all deserve it after we had a winner last night on the Jam Session, but the night before it was terrible. So free premium for y'all tonight. I'm definitely on the Jazz in this one. I think they take this Clippers team behind the shed. Give me the Jazz. I'll lay the points here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Indiana Pacers on the road facing the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento home favorites laying 4.5, total 239. We know this Pacers team has been hooping here recently. We've been on them a few times here in their last few matchups. We had them just the other night on the money line against the Lakers. I thought I was dead in that one early, man. They were down pretty big, but they fought their way back in that fourth quarter and won on a buzzer beater to save my night that night. That night was a terrible night for me. That was 2 days ago on the 28th. The Pacers, like I said, they've been surprised this season. 12-8. I had them pegged for a lottery team at the beginning of the season. 13-7 ATS. They've been playing some really good basketball. On the other side, we got the Kings, the home team, 10-9 on the season. 12-7 ATS, which that's what I really love to hear. They've dropped their last 3 games, man. They've lost 3 straight against some pretty solid competition though. Phoenix, Boston, and Atlanta. I definitely think all 3 of those teams are better than this Pacers team, even though this Pacers team has improved. And I'm gonna take the Sacramento Kings here at home, and I'm gonna lay the 4.5. Like I said, they've lost 3 straight. Perfect bounce back spot for me. Y'all know how I feel about this Kings team. They play really good basketball at home. More desperate coming in this one after losing 3 straight. This one could be a stomp down. Give me the Kings. I'll lay the points here in this one. Looks like all the guys, for the most part, are a go. Just one more. Yeah, their main guys are all a go for in this one. So I'm going to take the Kings here. I'm going to lay the points with them here at home. In our last and final game of the night, man, we got the Portland Trail Blazers on the road facing the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers home favorites laying 5.5, total 226. Now, when I first went and looked at this one, man, like when I was just scrolling through, I automatically checked the Blazers because Blazers one of the better cover teams in the NBA. The Lakers one of the worst cover teams in the NBA. Blazers are 13-8 ATS, 5 games over. Lakers are 7-12 ATS, 5 games under. You know what I mean? But then I had to go look at it just a little deeper. Here recently, the Blazers have been struggling. They've only won 1 of their last 5. They desperately need Damian Lillard back, man. They've been beat pretty convincingly in a few of those games. I guess they kept it competitive against the Clippers in their last one. They lost by 6. But before that, they got took behind the shed by Brooklyn. They beat the Nets in double overtime, which was a good win. We had them in that one. But they lost to Cleveland 114-96. Lost to Milwaukee 119-111. The Lakers have been playing some pretty good basketball here recently. They've won 3 of their last 5. They should have won the one the other night. I had the Pacers in that one, and the Lakers should have won that game. I had the Pacers on the money line, so that buzzer beater was huge for me. But the Lakers are up, 15 in the fourth? Man, you got to find a way to win that game. I think off of a terrible loss like that, I think the Lakers respond and beat up on this Blazers team here tonight. Give me the Lakers. I think this is a good spot for them. Y'all know I'm usually not on the Lakers, man. I'm usually not on the Lakers. But I think tonight could just be a favorable spot for them here. Blazers desperately need Lillard back soon. I think he should be back. I think I seen Sunday against the Pacers. But that's not here tonight. Give me the Lakers, and I'll lay the points here in this one. And that's going to conclude tonight's NBA Jam session for November 30th, 2022. Thank y'all for watching, man. Smash that like button for me. Comment if you've never commented before. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Follow me on Twitter at ParlayGuyJ, man. That's where I'm going to release the parlay of the day today when we hit our like goal, 350 likes. So I'm going to release the parlay. That's where I can update y'all on any late information and injury news. And if my mind changes on any of these games due to that late information. Link to my $15 NBA Jam Session plays in the description. My best bet in the NBA every night. We had a winner last night. We want to continue to do that. Keep this momentum rolling forward here tonight. I love tonight's Jam Session play, so scoop that up. $15. It's been your boy Jay Briggs, man, bringing y'all my Jam Session for the 30th of November. Let's continue to make some money. Talk to y'all on Twitter tonight. Holla at y'all tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.